So now we completed about racemose inflorescence. Now we are going towards another inflorescence, that is nothing but cymose inflorescence. Now in cymose inflorescence, whether it is called as definite inflorescence or indefinite inflorescence means cymose inflorescence is also called as definite type of inflorescence. Definite type of inflorescence. Why it is called as definite type of inflorescence means, see here, this is the peduncle. Peduncle is long elongated. This is the peduncle. Peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower. The terminal bud of the peduncle, opens into flower, So the growth of the peduncle is stopped. So the growth of the peduncle is stopped. So it shows a definite or indefinite growth means, so peduncle shows which growth means definite growth. Peduncle shows definite growth here. In cymose inflorescence, also called as definite type of inflorescence, where the peduncle is long elongated, terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower, so the growth of the peduncle is stopped. So the peduncle shows definite growth. And what happens means this is the first formed older flower. This is the first formed older flower. This is the first formed, which one here? This is the first formed older flower in cymose inflorescence. You can take any type of cymose inflorescence. In that cymose inflorescence, the first formed older flower itself, it occupies the terminal bud of the peduncle. Why? Because the terminal bud of the peduncle, it opens into flower. And what happens means, in cymose inflorescence, elongated peduncle. In cymose inflorescence, if the peduncle is elongated, plus if it is belonging to cymose type, then the flowers are arranged in basipetal manner. Then the flowers are arranged in which manner? Basipetal manner. What is meant by basipetal arrangement? That means, for example, think these are the younger flowers. Here the younger flowers are present towards base, and older flowers are present towards apex. Younger flowers are present towards base and older flowers are present towards apex. This type of arrangement itself, it indicates that is nothing but basipetal manner. Peduncle is condensed. Peduncle is condensed means flowers, if they are arranged in centripetal or centrifugal manner, means flowers are arranged in centrifugal manner. Flowers are arranged in which manner? Centrifugal manner. For example, this is the condensed peduncle. That means the center of the peduncle, it shows larger flowers. Center of the peduncle, it shows older flowers. But whereas the peripheral part of the peduncle, it shows younger flowers. This is nothing but peripheral part of the peduncle, it shows younger flowers, whereas the central part of the peduncle, central region of peduncle, it shows older flowers. This is about the cymose inflorescence. Cymose inflorescence, also called as definite type of inflorescence. I already explained why it is definite type of inflorescence. If you see all these points, And whereas if elongated peduncle plus cymose means flowers are arranged in basipetal manner, older flowers towards base and younger flowers are present towards apex, whether it is called as basipetal arrangement? No. Here the younger flowers are present towards base and older flowers are present towards apex, then it is called as centrifugal, then it is called as basipetal arrangement. Peduncle is condensed, that means the flowers are arranged in which manner? Centrifugal manner. That means older flowers present towards center and younger flowers are present towards periphery. In Cymose inflorescence, what is the first type of inflorescence means? That is solitary cyme. Solitary cyme, that is nothing but it shows us it is nothing but single flower inflorescence. Single flowered inflorescence. Solitary cyme means it is none other than called as a single flowered inflorescence. And what happens means in this solitary cyme, what is the first example means? In this, the first example, that is nothing but Hibiscus rosa sinensis. In this Hibiscus rosa sinensis, in this which bud is modified means axillary bud is modified into single flower inflorescence. Single flower inflorescence. That means axillary solitary cyme inflorescence can be seen in Hibiscus rosa sinensis. In Hibiscus rosa sinensis, which bud is modified into single flowered inflorescence? Axillary bud is modified into single flowered inflorescence. That means, see here, think this is the, in this axillary bud is modified into single inflorescence. In this what happens means, this is the rough diagram belongs to which one? Hibiscus rosa sinensis. In this part of the stalk of the Hibiscus rosa sinensis, it is called as pedicel. Half of the stalk in Hibiscus rosa sinensis which is present towards the basal portion, it is called as pedicel. And half of the portion which is present, half of the stalk which is present above the pedicel is called as peduncle. Is called as which one here? Peduncle. In this the stalk of the flower, actually stalk of the flower is called as pedicel, but whereas this pedicel, it shows two parts. Half of the stalk which is half of the stalk which occupies the basal portion which is called as pedicel, and half of the stalk which is present above the pedicel, it is called as peduncle. It can be identified with an articulation between the two. It can be identified with an articulation between the two. This is nothing but the solitary cyme in Hibiscus rosa sinensis. And another flower, that is nothing but datura. Another flower, that is nothing but, in datura flower what happens means, in this terminal solitary cyme can be seen here. In datura flower, terminal solitary cyme can be seen. In Hibiscus rosa sinensis, axillary solitary cyme can be seen. And these two types of inflorescence are coming under solitary cyme. Solitary cyme means it itself, it indicates single flowered inflorescence. Can you tell me how many types of inflorescences which looks like single flower? Single flowered inflorescence, of that one, it is nothing but which one means a head inflorescence. One, it is a head inflorescence, and the second one, it is a solitary cyme, So these two are the inflorescence which looks like single flowered inflorescence. What are the first type of inflorescence which looks like single flower? Means that is nothing but head inflorescence, and another one, it is nothing but solitary cyme inflorescence. Next, it is nothing but monocacial cyme. Monocacial cyme. In this, how many types means? One, it is helicoid monocacial cyme. And second one it is scorpioid monocacial cyme. One it is helicoid monocacial cyme. Second one it is scorpioid monocacial cyme. And whereas for helicoid monocacial cyme example namely known as Himalaya. And what are that another example means for this is Solanum. For this Solanum monocacial cyme. Two types. One it is helicoid monocacial cyme. Himalaya is one of the example. Another one it is scorpioid monocacial cyme. Example nothing but Solanum. Now in this monocacial cyme, always if single branch arises, that is nothing but mono. That means I will explain here. This is the peduncle. This is the peduncle is long elongated. Peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle terminates into flower. Terminal bud of the peduncle terminates into flower. Terminates into flower. That means whether it is first formed flower, yes, it is nothing but first formed flower. That means peduncle shows definite or indefinite growth. Peduncle shows definite growth. Peduncle shows which growth here? Definite growth. Peduncle shows definite growth. Now in this below the first formed older flower, below the first formed older flower, second flower, first branch is arising. Below the first formed older flower, first branch arises. What I am saying, listen carefully. Below the first formed older flower, first branch arises. This is called as first branch. This is called as which one here? First branch. This is called as first branch. Now this branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because the terminal bud of the branch also terminates into flower. Terminal bud of branch also terminates into flower. Also terminates into which one here? Flower. Also terminates into flower. Now here what happens means second flower is opposite to first bract. That means in this monocacial cyme, flowers are arising towards the apex of the branches, and the flowers are opposite to the, and the bracts are opposite to the flowers. That means this is the first formed bract, this is the first bract, this is the first bract, and this is the second formed flower. This is the second flower. This is nothing but which flower? Second flower. Now from the base of the second formed flower, from the base of the second formed flower, second branch is arising. From the base of the second formed flower, which branch is arising? Second branch is arising. And this second branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. This flower is called as a third flower, no? This flower is called as which flower? Third flower. Once again I am explaining clearly. Listen. This is the peduncle. Peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle opens into first formed flower. That means the peduncle shows definite growth. The terminal bud terminates into flower. Just now only I explained. From the base of the first formed flower, first branch is arising. This branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because terminal bud of the branch also terminates into flower. This is nothing but second formed flower. And this second formed flower is opposite to first bract. Second formed flower is opposite to first bract. From the base of the second formed flower, second branch is arising. This second branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. What is the number? Third flower. And this third flower is opposite to second bract. Third flower is opposite to which bract here? Second bract. Likewise, branches are continuously developing from one side only. Likewise, branches are developing continuously from one side. Continuously developing from like this. Continuously developing from one side. Due to which whether weight is appeared towards one side? No. Due to which weight is appeared towards one side, due to which whether this peduncle, whether it is drooping or non-drooping, means due to which the peduncle is drooping. Due to which the peduncle is drooping. This is about helicoid monocacial cyme in Hemilia. Helicoid monocacial cyme in Hemilia. Next goes to monocacial scarpioid cyme. In this what happens means, this is the peduncle. Peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle terminates into flower. Terminal bud of the peduncle terminates into flower. This is the first formed flower. This is the first formed flower. From the base of the first formed flower, single branch arises. From the base of the first formed flower, single branch arises. This single branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. And from the base of the second formed flower, second branch is arising. Second branch is arising. This branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. From the base of the third formed flower, from the base of the third formed flower, third branch is arising. From the base of the third formed flower, third branch is arising. Here this branch also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. So due to which here the branches are, whether they are arising from one side or branches are arising in zigzag manner. Here the branches are arising in which manner? Zigzag manner. Branches are arising in zigzag manner. But when it is compared with helicoid monocacial cyme, here the branches are arising from one side, so weight occurs towards one side, due to which this inflorescence is showing bending nature in Hemilia. But whereas in Solanum, whether the bending nature can be seen, the peduncle shows bending nature here, peduncle shows drooping nature here. No, why? Because here the branches, they are not arising from the same side, branches are arising in zigzag manner, due to which weight is not occurred towards one side, due to which this here the peduncle does not shows drooping. Here the peduncle there does not shows drooping. This is about monocacial cyme. Minimum number of branches, minimum number of branches, minimum number of flowers. In order to identify helicoid monocacial cyme or scarpioid monocacial cyme, means here how many branches are required means 2 branches. And how many flowers are required? 3 flowers are required. How many branches and how many flowers are required? Minimum number of branches, minimum number of flowers, in order to recognize whether the monocacial cyme, whether it is helicoid type or scarpioid type. Simple. See here. That means this is nothing but a monocacial helicoid cyme. Example, Hemilia. How many minimum flowers? 3 flowers. How many branches are required? 2 branches are required. Due to which we can easily recognize this inflorescence of monocacial cyme itself, it is nothing but Hemilia. But whereas in this monocacial scarpioid cyme, in this what happens means how many branches are required here? Here 2 branches are required. How many flowers are required? 3 flowers are required. That means minimum number of branches, minimum number of flowers, in order to recognize a monocacial cyme which is belonging to helicoid monocacial and scarpioid monocacial. That is nothing but how many branches and how many flowers? 2 branches and 3 flowers. Here also 2 branches, where branches are arising from same side. Here 2 branches. Branches are arising in a branches are arranged in which manner? Zigzag manner. Branches are arranged in zigzag manner. This is about monocacial cyme. And here one more thing. Number of branches is equal to. In here what happens means number of branches is equal to number of flowers. Number of branches is equal to number of flowers minus 1. Why? Because here how many branches are present here? 1. This is 1, 2, 3. How many flowers are present? 1, 2, 3, 4. What I told, number of branches. How many here? 1, 2, 3. Number of branches is equal to number of flowers. Number of flowers are how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. That means number of branches is equal to 3. Number of flowers is equal to 4 minus 1. That itself it indicates 3 is the answer. 3 is the answer. Now can you tell me number of flowers is equal to? Now here number of flowers is equal to number of flowers is equal to number of branches plus 1. Number of branches plus 1. Number of flowers. Here how many number of flowers? 1, 2, 3, 4. Number of branches are how many? 1, 2, 3 plus 1. That itself it indicates according to this diagram number of flowers are 4. Why? Because number of branches how many? 1, 2, 3. So this itself it indicates the monocacial cyme. Now we are going to simple cyme or cymeole. Another type of Cymose inflorescence itself it is nothing but simple cyme or cymeole. This simple cyme or cymeole it is nothing but two branched, three flowered inflorescence itself it is called as simple cyme or cymeole. What happens means here the peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower. Terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower. This is called as first formed flower. This is called as first formed flower. From the base of the first formed flower, two branches are arising. From the base of the first formed flower, two branches are arising. These branches also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. It also terminates into flower. And due to which type of arrangement we look here now in this simple cyme or cymeole means in this we observe here basipetal arrangement. We observe here which arrangement? Basipetal arrangement. What is meant by basipetal arrangement? Younger flowers are present towards base. Older flowers are present towards apex. Itself it is called as basipetal arrangement. If we see this diagram, in this diagram what it indicates means here the flowers are arranged in which manner? Means flowers are arranged in which manner here? Centrifugal manner. Why? Because if we see the diagram, we can say that here the flowers are arranged in centrifugal manner, but actually here the flowers are arranged in basipetal manner. Why? Because older flowers are present towards base and younger flowers are present towards apex. But if we see this diagram, here this diagram itself it indicates that flowers are arranged in centrifugal manner. Why? Because older flowers it looks like older flowers are present towards center and younger flowers are present towards periphery. Based upon that, in this simple cyme or cymeole, here the flowers are arranged in centrifugal manner, but actually here the flowers are arranged in basipetal arrangement. Why? Because older flowers are present towards apex and younger flowers are present towards base. Younger flowers are present towards base. Now in this simple cyme or cymeole, only one time branching occurs, or 2 times or 3 times or 4 times branching occurs. Means in this only one time branching occurs. In this only one time branching occurs. In this only which time? How many times branching occurs? In this only one time branching occurs. In this only one time branching it occurs. This is about simple cyme or cymeole. Next goes to dicacial cyme. Next goes to dicacial cyme. In this dicacial cyme, one it is hypomia. One example, that is nothing but hypomia. In this dicacial cyme, what happens means at a time how many branches are developing means at a time 2 branches develops. At a time how many branches develops? 2 branches develops at a time. At a time how many branches are developing? two branches are developing. Now in this what happens means the peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower. Terminal bud of the peduncle opens into which one? Flower. Terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower. That is nothing but a first formed flower. That is nothing but a first formed flower. From the base of the first formed flower, two branches develops at a time. Two branches develops at a time. These two branches also shows definite growth. Why? Because it also terminates into flower. Now see here. First time branching. Number of branches. Next, number of flowers. Number of branches and number of flowers. Now tell me, first time branching. Here, first time branching. First time, which one here? First time branching. First time branching means how many branches are present? Two branches are present. First time branching, two branches are present. How many flowers are present means 1, 2 plus 3. So first time branching, two branches and three flowers are present. Now what happens means now second time branching. At a time how many branches develops? I told now two branches are developing. At a time two branches they are developed. That means that these branches also shows definite growth. Why? Because they also terminates into flower. Why? Because they also terminates into which one? Flower. Now see here. Second time branching. How many branches here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is first branch, second branch, third branch, fourth branch, fifth branch, sixth branch. So what is the number of branches? 6. What is the number of flowers? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 plus 1, 7 flowers. Now third time branching. Now what happens means third time branching. Now goes to third time branching. Now during third time branching what happens means from the base of the branch here again two branches develops at a time. Again two branches develops at a time. Now how many branches are present? Here already we seen here 6 branches. Already here we seen 6 branches. This is the 7th branch, 8th branch, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13 and 14 branches can be seen. How many flowers can be seen? 15 flowers can be seen in diacacial cyme. At a time how many branches are developing? 2 branches. So here peduncle is long elongated. The terminal bud of the peduncle opens into flower, first formed flower. Likewise, at a time how many branches? I told 2 branches. So first time branching how many branches? 2 branches and 3 flowers. Second time branching 6 branches, 7 flowers. Third time branching 14 branches and 15 flowers. So this itself indicates this is nothing but a diacacial cyme. Next goes to polycacial cyme. Example for polycacial cyme, that is nothing but a nerium. Already in the nerium we studied about whorl phyllotaxy. And here we studied about polycacial cyme. In this nerium, what happens means, think this is the peduncle. Peduncle is long elongated. Terminal bud of the peduncle terminates into first formed flower. First formed which one here? First formed flower. From the base of the first formed flower, more than 2 branches are developed. More than how many branches are developing? 3, more than 2 branches. I am not saying 3 branches here. That may be more than 2 means that may be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 also. So here from the base of the first formed flower, more than 2 branches are developed. And these branches also shows definite growth. Why? Because they also terminates into flower. Why? Because they also terminates into flower. If more than 2 branches they are developing, and that branches if they are also shows definite growth. Why? Because the terminal bud of the branches, if they are terminates into flower, and this type of cymose inflorescence itself, it is called as polycacial cyme. Polycacial cyme. Now here assertion. What is assertion means? In polycacial cyme, in the nerium, 3 branches develops at a time. In the nerium, in bracket polycacial cyme, 3 branches develops at a time. 3 branches develops at a time. Yes, in the nerium, how many branches are developing means at a time 3 branches are developing. But polycacial cyme means more than 2 branches. But in the nerium, how many branches are developing? 3 branches are developing. Reason. In the nerium, whorl phyllotaxy. In nerium, which phyllotaxy? Whorl phyllotaxy. How many leaves are developing means 3 leaves develops from a node. 3 leaves develops from a node. So what is the option? What is the answer here? It is correct means assertion in the nerium polycacial cyme 3 branches develops at a time. And reason in the nerium whorl phyllotaxy, that means from one node 3 leaves are developing. What is the option means? A is right, R is right, R is not correct explanation for A. A is right, R is right, R is not correct explanation for A. This is about polycacial cyme. We completed cymose inflorescence.